Welcome to the We Get to Do This podcast. My name is Kaylee.
And I'm Jacob.
And we are your co-hosts.
In this show, we're going to dive into all things our lives, from our partnership to romance to entrepreneurship to growing our businesses together, our fitness journeys, and we're going to have a ton of different guests on that relate to what I just said in some way. We're hoping you enjoy the show, and if you do,
please feel free to follow us, leave us a 5-star review on wherever you listen to your podcasts, and enjoy.
And if you don't like the show, tough. Thank you. Welcome.
You didn't want to start out with the song this time?
We're married. We did it!
The Oaks. He said yes.
He said yes. Welcome back to another episode of the We Get to Do This podcast, the post-proposal episode. So if you haven't listened to the pre-proposal episode yet, I would do that. It was 2 episodes back. I am Jacob, one of your co-hosts, personal trainer and run coach in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Minnesota. What did I just say?
Minnesota.
Minnesota. I definitely have like vacation brain going on.
Same.
Hardcore. And this is Kaylee Oak. Whoa.
Wow. I don't think I've introduced myself as that yet. It's going to be weird signing my name as Kaylee Oak. I was awake. It stormed last night, and normally I don't wake up from storms, but I was up at 3 a.m. and I was actually awake thinking about my name change. Because marrying you obviously is like a big thing, but changing your name, a name I've had for 32 years, that's a big thing. I don't really know what to do now, though, because our marriage certificate has been sent in. So I don't know if we get a receipt about that.
I think we just go to the Social Security office and change your name.
Yes, I need to do that.
Why did you change your name? Because a lot of people have asked you that, and a lot of people have brought that up to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's partly like, it's almost like kind of, I don't know if woke's the right word. I feel like a lot of people aren't changing their name now.
Mm-hmm.
Is that woke? I don't know. You know what I mean, though? I feel like a lot of people aren't changing their name now. It's almost like more, it seems like it's almost more on, I don't know. Why'd you change your name? People have asked us that. Because
you said you would divorce me if I didn't.
Wow. All right. Okay. I got
Moving
nothing.
on. No, I mean, it was very important for you, and I knew how much it meant to you for me to be an Oak. So that was definitely a huge part of it. And 2, Oak is a sick last name.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Not to play this card, but from a business perspective, also, it's going to be much easier for us to both be Oak Endurance. And I am still working on my run coaching, talking about that for a while, but that will be really nice to both be coaches under that. I want our future children to both be Oaks. I feel like going the hyphenated route isn't as common anymore, but people definitely still do that. But my mom hyphenated her name, and she'd always said that, at least I'm pretty sure, this is what she said, that she wouldn't recommend it. One, her name is super long now, so it gets like literally cut off on licenses. So I don't think Carlson Oak would have gotten cut off. But I just want us to all be the Oak family when we have kids. And yeah, I think it's just more of like a family thing for me. But I understand why people don't change it for numerous reasons. One, it's the name you were born with. It's your family's name.
Yeah, I didn't want to change mine.
It's expensive to change things. It's going to be a lot of work to change all of my documents. I'm grateful that I didn't put my last name into my business name, because that would also be a whole other ball game if it was Dr. Kaylee Carlson, acupuncture, that I need to do a complete rebranding, which honestly I'd be fine with, because I'd like to do a rebranding anyways. But yeah, those are a few of the reasons. And I like the name Kaylee Oak.
Same. It's pretty hot.
But I definitely will miss Kaylee Carlson. I liked being towards the front, because in school, your last name actually did matter. And since I was a C, I got towards like the front of the lockers.
Just kind of
commons,
BS, by the way. It's kind
When
of
you
not
would line
BS.
up for everything and even up to graduation, like, you were always one of the first people in line, but I was never the first, so it was perfect because I was never the first one, but I was just far up enough where I wasn't the last person. So I will miss that, but Oak is still it's not a Z,
True.
so it's still not very last.
True.
Yeah, those are a few. And it's a very naturey last name.
Very grounding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good question.
So, how did the wedding go?
Yeah, so this pod's gonna be all about how to do a wedding on a budget. Just kidding.
It's just kind of our post.
Um,
We did a pre-pod episode. If we figured we should do a post of like how we're feeling, and we're probably going to do a lot of talking at each other right now, and you get to listen if you want. So
um, no, I would as far as, like, money-wise, we definitely did it. Why I'm talking about this is because we had so much help from family and friends, and not only did that save us a lot of money, but I just thought it was very fun having everyone involved and included for the day. Um, I was just talking to somebody, and she was saying that she wished her daughter had a videographer for the wedding because she was like, "We don't have any recordings of the speeches or the vows or any of those moments." And we have all of that
yeah,
documented.
we literally have the whole wedding
So,
videoed.
shout out to our friends and family. We specifically asked them at the beginning, "Hey, can you please, these are the things that we really want recorded." Us walking down the aisle because our friend Al killed it on guitar, and I just really wanted that memory of him playing live music as I was walking down the aisle with my parents, and we got you coming out, hugging your parents, which was the sweetest thing. Our siblings, and then your now our nephew, Van was our ring bearer, and there were a couple of very cute moments where he was, like, saying hi to his mom in the stand or in the stands, in the seats, and we have all of that. So, yeah, we asked for that. We asked for the first dance because we did the choreographed dance, the speeches, and it's been very fun because that day, as everyone says, goes so fast. And I was being very present during those moments, but also you're not able to fully grasp and, like, embrace everything because there's so much happening. So to be able to go back after and listen to the speeches again, look at the dances and see those moments, for me is priceless. I'm really happy that we did that. And I didn't need the professional video for that. I mostly just wanted to be able to see, like, get a feeling for what people were saying and what was happening. So I'm totally fine that we didn't hire a videographer. I can see why people do that too. I feel like that could be really special. But just to have some of those clips documented, I'm really happy about. We haven't gotten our professional photos back yet, but we did have a um, professional photographers that Jacob went to high school with, but they do have their own business. So shout out Maddie's Moments Photography. They were super fun to hang out with. And we even did, like, some sunset pictures out in a field where we just got to, like, roll around, the two of us. We had a golf cart that our neighbors lent us because people had to park on the street. And then my parents have kind of a long driveway. So people got to cruise around on the golf cart. We got to take that out. It was very fun. I'm very excited to see those pics.
Same.
We took some pictures in the woods in the back of my parents and down at the lake. Very excited to see those. The weather that day was honestly perfect. The week leading up was very hot, so putting things out was really warm, but we really lucked out because it didn't rain or storm for the couple days leading up either. So we rented a big tent, table and chairs. Those were all delivered and put out Wednesday afternoon or Thursday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Wednesday afternoon. Then we went back up again Thursday, got more stuff ready, and then Friday did all the rest of the setup, and we got to keep everything up, which was so nice. I don't know how people do it with setting up day of, like, a couple hours before. Granted, we did do it all but by ourselves. We didn't have event staff helping us set up, but still. And then we got to keep everything up that night. And then in the morning, we had all of our friends helping take stuff down, which was also super clutch. Yeah, the weather was and then we had a nice, like, slight breeze on Saturday. Jacob sweat through the whole ceremony, it was really cute.
I was sweaty as heck.
Tell us about your nerves that day.
I was nervous as heck.
How come?
I don't know what else there is to tell you about that. I do think the video was a good idea though. We had the way our wedding party was set up was that we had our siblings in the whatever it's called where they like stand up with you, and then we each picked two of our really good friends and their spouses, partners, to be ushers. So we had 8 ushers, and I thought that was a unique way of doing it because I know that sometimes in weddings, the partner is just kind of awkward for the partner because they either don't get to like come for a while or they like come and then they're just like off to the side, which is fine. I'm not trying to judge that. But I do, and some weddings, like Evan and Eli's, I was very involved the whole time. So, I think it just depends on how you do it. But I liked the way we did that. And then we like the ushers, we put them in charge of video and of like drinks and some things that they all seem to have a really good time with. So I'm really stoked on. I think we killed the wedding party situation.
One of the tasks too is having them go around and make sure everyone signed the guest book. So, because I've heard from a lot of weddings that a lot of people just don't sign the guest book. Our guest book is full.
That was a
It is
huge win. Was that your
overflowing.
idea to tell them to make
Yeah.
sure? Because I think it was Jack, went hard on
Yeah.
like, he went up to everyone and was like, sign this guest book, sign this. Our guest book is full,
Yeah.
which is, and there's a little picture of like everyone in it, which is super cool.
Yeah, I did. We had been to a few weddings where people had the Polaroid camera set out. So you take a picture and then you paste it into the book. And then people can also take their own picture as like a keepsake too. And I'm really happy we did that because now we just have all these memories just like frozen in time. And my favorite page is Your Grandma Susie. She wrote in
Yeah.
Japanese on the page, and we have pictures of her now.
Hmm.
And I feel like that was just like very special to have that.
Yeah. I will say, and maybe my mom will share this with her, that if you have siblings or people involved in the wedding that are in their teenage years, I think it's important to have a conversation with them prior about like smiling. That was one thing we didn't think about. I haven't even talked to my mom yet, so she might be hearing this for the first time over this pod. But we didn't think about the fact that we had a teenager involved in the wedding, and teenagers are teenagers and don't always like smile during photos and things like that and like act excited during like dress reveals. So that was one thing that looking back, I mean, there's a few things looking back that I'm like, oh, that was something I just didn't know, that I wish I would have like talked to her and been like, hey, I need you to smile during these. And like one of the pictures, when she put her arm up on you, you were like, can you put your arm around me? And like, this isn't like a cool, um, but again, like they're teenagers. So it's like, I don't know. So that was one thing. I will say too, back to like the being nervous. I thought after I did the vows, so we wrote our own vows. And on the last episode, I talked about how freaked out I was about that. I thought that after I did that, I would be a lot more like, wow, I'm really glad I did it that way. I'm gonna say this. So I'm saying it mainly because I want people to just keep it in mind if they're going to do this. I don't think I would do that again. I
Good?
think, yeah, I did. The amount of stress and anxiety writing our vows caused me, like, and I haven't figured out why yet. I don't know why, but I was so nervous and I thought about it all week. And I don't know why, because like it's public speaking and like I'm giving a speech at Kyle and Peyton's wedding and I'm nervous for that, but
Yeah, was
it's
it the
just so much
speaking
different.
part?
It's a
Was it the
different,
writing part?
I think it was a mix. I think the biggest thing was, so here's what I would do. If I was going to do this again, the vows, I would do a template so that we both had the exact same template. Because I think what was super nerve wracking for me was having no idea what I should or should not include and like not really knowing who to talk to about it. Because like when I did talk to people, they were kind of like, well, it's yours. So you can do whatever you want. Or like, yeah, no one's going to really care. It's just whatever you want. which made that difficult. So there was no like really advice on how you should best structure the vows, what you should say. Should you include a background story? I couldn't really talk to you about what you were doing. Eventually, like 2 nights before, I was like, F it, you need to read these. So she read my vows and she was like, this is great. Yeah, like, but like we like both got stumped on, do we tell our background story in the vow? Like there was just no, I wish we had more structure. And Al actually the weekend prior told me that the way they did it was there was like it was like a 5 template prompt. And I think if we did it again, I would have rather done that. Cause I think that was the biggest thing. I was like, what if they're too long? What if they're too short? And I was so worried about like the technicality of it that I didn't even like enjoy doing it. Right. And now I feel like when we renew our vows, I'll really like that. And even like during it, I don't, it was just, it wasn't, that was one thing that looking back, I didn't like, I wasn't like when we got done with it, it wasn't like, oh, I'm really happy we did that. I don't like regret doing that necessarily. But like the morning of too, I was with the dudes in the basement and my hands were like this. I haven't been that anxious in a minute. And like the guys were like trying to calm me down. And I was like, I'm so nervous. And it
Do you
wasn't
think it
just
would
the
have been
vows.
better if it was private? Do you think that would made a difference?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, and then, of course, so the other thing is it became the thing that was tough about the vows too is it became more like a theater slash presentation slash I wanted affirmation vibes too. So like afterwards, I was like, "What do you guys think of the vibes to be or to the about the vows to people like in the audience, like kind of seeking affirmation, which you could argue is like a you need to just not do that. But then like some people couldn't hear them the whole time, so that that was a thing. Um, so yeah, I don't know why I got so hung up on those, but that
Mm.
really once the ceremony was done, I was so relaxed. And I wish and I also think though like a lot of people are like that too. So I don't know, had we not done the vows like that, maybe I would have still been nervous. But like she said, I was sweating profusely. I was so it was hot, but I was like nervous sweating. And yeah, I don't know. I think that I could have enjoyed the ceremony more, just in general, whether the vows were there or not. I don't think I enjoyed that enough.
Mm.
Like that's another big thing for me.
Thanks for sharing your perspective.
Yeah. I mean, you liked it though, right? Or
Yeah, I loved it.
yeah.
I would 100% do it again. Um, I definitely was nervous about the technicalities, like you said, but I had looked at some people on Instagram. One of my best friends had sent me her vows. I kind of got an idea from that. And I feel like you said, the hard part and the good part is that everyone does it so differently. And I mean, you can literally list out, I vow to this, I vow to this, or you can make it a love story. And I feel like both of us are very good at writing love stories and words of affirmation to each other. And I kind of got the general idea of like, okay, keep it around 3 to 4, 3 to 5 ish minutes. If it's longer or if it's shorter than that, fine. Um, yeah, I've I looked at it as more of like this. I'm declaring my love
Mm,
and the rest of my life to you as my
really?
partner. So that's what I was
Should we
thinking
share
of.
it right now? Let's just play it.
Yeah.
Play the clip. I wish we could do that. I wish we could be like, all right, listen to the clip, y'all.
But we did write it out in a journal, and I was writing out my vows at about 12:20 p.m., and we were supposed to be doing a first look at 12:30 p.m. Um, so I wouldn't recommend writing out your vows the day of because that made me a little anxious because I did my makeup in about 5 minutes, which to be fair, probably would have spent 5 to 10 minutes regardless of the time if I had had the time on that anyways. But
I think that was another thing that was tough for me too, actually. Maybe that was probably why I was so anxious because I
yeah,
started worrying about the time
yeah,
on things.
because
We could have
when
we
you
could
are
have
writing
prepped
out
more.
3 to 5 minutes, it's a decent amount of writing that we
Yeah.
both had to
Took
do.
me like an hour to write all the files out.
Yeah, I was like in the living room on the floor, laying down, writing my vows out in the journal while everyone else was getting ready.
Right.
So that part was a little stressful because I was like, okay, I actually do need to get this done. And I didn't just want to have a phone up there. So now we have them written out, which I still think is cool. And I want to do something with the journal with every year writing out
New vows.
new vows or promises or whatever it is. But I did really like doing that. And I personally like doing them in front of people because I love love and seeing love. And I mean, Jeff killed it at the ceremony, but otherwise it would have just been him talking the whole time.
Hmm.
And I liked that we each had a part in the ceremony.
Yeah. Again, I think going back to, I think if we did it again, I would have, knowing what I know now, I would have said we should follow some type of template with
Yeah.
it, or be okay working on them together, or like seeing what we were doing. I think
I
that would be
suggested
fine
that.
too. I know, I wasn't okay. Like
Yeah.
I just think that was,
Well, it's hard when with weddings, for most of us, it's the first time we've done any of
yeah.
this.
So it's just
So you
completely,
just don't know.
yeah,
And again, because everyone does things so differently, and because again, you usually only go through it one time, there's just so much unknown to it.
yeah,
I'm personally happy with, like, don't get me wrong, I was very stressed and I mean, I love you, but I'm very glad that it's done
same,
because it was so much just like
same.
mental stress. But at the same time, I feel like I was, like I said, very present throughout the day. I didn't have any alcohol until after all of the first dances were done because I was like, I want to be very focused for this.
And we had a lot of alcohol.
Yeah, you guys, I feel like we talked about drinking on the pre-wedding episode too, because that was post-bachelorette. I've not drank this much in like my entire life between bachelorette weekend, the weekend before, and wedding night. But I didn't start, like I said, I didn't start drinking until after all the dances were done, so I'm very happy about that. But we were up until 1:30 a.m. wedding night and out dancing under the tent. Shout out to our parents for going in on the dance floor
That
for
was a
us.
good call. Get
We
a dance floor if you
Yeah,
do it
we
yourself.
originally weren't gonna
Weren't
do
gonna do
that,
that. Get a dance floor. I'm happy we
and
did that.
yeah, it was very fun because we danced for hours. People were recording it on Strava. It was nice for our first
Yeah,
dance.
our dance definitely was one of the better wedding dances I've been at, I have to say. I feel
Yeah,
like we crushed it.
we got some text messages after saying that that was one of the top nights of their year so far. So,
And
I'm patting myself on the back for
some of
that
my
one.
college buddies specifically, like, definitely brought a party.
Yeah.
Definitely brought that party.
Yeah, we
So,
had a lot of fun. So,
it
I
was, I
don't
mean, it's just so fun, like having so many different areas of your world in one setting. And I was so excited about like, yo, you have to meet this dude and you need to meet her and you need to meet him. And I was like in my element with like the butterfly, like
Mhm.
social butterfly effect on
And it's
that.
just fun that now everyone, like, knows each other, and
But it's sad that like a lot of them will never see each other again.
yeah, but I mean, even our friends Evan and Eli who live in Washington, they had met Nick before and
True.
your cousin David, and so
True.
they all got to connect, and I do think that I mean, the world is big, but it's also small, and because we do like connecting people, there'll be some people that we'll meet again.
Yeah.
That's my belief, at least.
Yeah. I do think it was easily the best day of my life. Hands down, the best day of my life.
Aw.
There was, I mean, and I knew this and I didn't have any hesitation of it. The week of, I was pretty anxious. And I think if I did it again, I would have maybe worked that week, but also when we have time to work and taken off more on the tail end of it. But again, I don't know when we would have had time to work anyways. So,
We were
but like
still doing
that
a
week, I
lot
feel
week
like I
of.
was just anxious the whole week. But again, we were like doing so. Anyways, but the bachelor party the weekend prior into the wedding was sick. And then mix my birthday in. That was dope. I was like just riding
We've basically been
highs the
celebrating
whole, and
for
then yeah,
3
honeymoon
weeks
and your
straight.
birthday. But again, like I think back to the start of the bachelor party and even just like, man, everyone's like, dude, be present, be present, be present. I'm not even gonna like tell people that because even if you go into it knowing like to be present, it is literally that stretch will literally go down as, I mean, I'm assuming like, kids graduations and things like, I don't know, whatever. Right now, to this point in my life, that stretch is literally the best and most fun I have ever had for a 2-week stretch. And so what's the math on how many weeks I've lived? 28 times, was there 56? I think
52
50,
weeks.
52, something like that. 28 times 52.
A lot.
I don't know, a lot. It goes by so freaking fast. And there's so much of it you don't even get to see that it's happening. And you do see, but you don't even
Yeah, Jacob was very hard on himself with
I
this
was very hard on myself. I was like, I should have
because we'd
enjoyed it
see
more. I shouldn't have drank it all. That probably
we'd look at
messed up my
pictures,
memory.
and he was like, why didn't I where was I? Why didn't I know
Yeah.
this?"
Because like she would be dancing and I would be like talking to my dad outside the tent, or
I'm
like
like,
I'd be dancing and
you
she would be talking,
literally can't be a part of every single thing going on."
which was very
That's
hard for me.
yeah.
It's
But
very hard for me.
that's why we have the professional photographers, and that's why it's been fun rehashing the wedding. That's why I'm glad we went on the honeymoon right after, because
Yeah.
then we just got to talk about it for the week and just sit with it. I'm also glad that we didn't leave the night of or the day after for our honeymoon. I don't know how people do that. We left
I'm happy we
3
didn't do that.
days after because we were running errands, cleaning up, packing. Very happy we waited a couple days just to, like, chill for not e I guess we weren't even chilling, but just to be home for a little bit and get stuff done was very nice. But yeah, you can only be so present, and
Yeah, it goes by so fast. I wish there was a way to do pictures differently too. We've talked about this because I feel like 50% of that day was taking pictures, which I'm very happy we have. Don't get me
well,
wrong.
actually, we don't have them yet, but
Well, but I mean, even just like from our phones and stuff,
yeah,
but like professional wise, yeah, it was before the wedding. You take pictures for like an hour, hour and a half. Then you do the ceremony. And then we left during the whole social hour to take pictures. So we didn't get to talk to anyone during that whole hour, which again is fine. And I didn't think about it. Like when we go
well,
to
and
weddings, that
again
like they're just not usually there for
and
that
I
whole hour.
personally wanted time with just the 2 of us after the ceremony anyways.
Yeah. And
So I was gonna do that whether the photographers were there or not. We had talked about going down to the lake, just the 2 of us,
yeah.
just to, like, breathe for a second since we hadn't been
hmm
together for the morning when we were getting ready.
And having those pictures are going to be sick
Yeah, and
too.
again, it was just fun
I don't
being the 2
regret
of us.
I don't regret that. My bigger point is like we could have doubled the length of the wedding and like had half like the first half be pictures and then people come and then they take pictures during that too or something like that. Because then we opted to do sunset pictures, which again are gonna be sick. I'm most excited about those because they had some really cool ideas of us like playing tag and driving the golf. I don't know. That was
Yeah,
cool. So I'm really excited to see that. But again, we left the wedding for like an hour at like 7:30 when a lot of people were probably leaving, so we like didn't see most people leave,
yep.
so like that type of
I am
thing.
glad we did the I would recommend doing family pictures before the ceremony.
I don't know how
Glad
we
we
would have
did
fit
that.
that in if we
Yeah,
tried to do that after. We would never have eaten,
yeah.
you know.
And how'd you feel about the dance?
What about it?
Our dance. Would you do that again?
I liked the choreographed dance a lot. Yeah, I was a big fan of that.
Yeah,
Big fan of that.
I would
I
recommend doing that again.
I think that we could have done it better. I don't know why we messed up at the end. But we messed up a little bit at the end, but no one noticed,
Yeah.
so it's fine.
And
But
our
I
dance instructor, shout out Sherry, said that we looked like professionals and that we did really well with improvising. So,
Yeah, I thought the dance is I really liked what my mom and I did. We, like, did a mashup of 5 different songs. Thought You and Your Dad was perfect. Watching your mom watch you guys was really cute, and Gracie. I thought the speeches all were phenomenal. It was so fun to see people give speeches that probably never get to see give a speech about me again, and I'm happy we recorded those, both nights. That those
I
were
also liked the dance leading up to it too. They were just fun date nights and like getting more and more
yeah.
excited for the wedding because then we got to it was an hour drive each way. So then that was time for us to like talk about the wedding and just be together, even though it was a lot to fit in with everything else. But it's just
No,
nice
I'm
intentional time.
super happy I have no regrets with that. That one when we originally did it, I was kinda like, "I'm gonna be so nervous." I wasn't The vows overshadowed that. I was never really nervous about the dance. I was more nervous about doing the dance in front of the high school girls at the studio than I was at our wedding, and I thought I'd be way more nervous at our wedding.
Yeah.
But at the wedding, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be sick. I want people to watch us now." It's the same thing with, like, why I like public speaking sometimes, because I'm like, "Everyone's
Mm.
watching me."
Yeah, that's why I'm so surprised that you're so anxious about the
I
vows
don't yeah, I
because
I
you
haven't
love
figured
doing
out.
stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's very interesting. Um,
So,
I also felt better about the vows because I went and got my nails done the day on Thursday of the wedding, and my nail technician, I don't even know how we got to talking about them, but she was like, I'll, like, go over them with you if you want. She's like, "I love writing." She's like, "I did this with my son for his wedding." So she let me, like, practice saying it out loud because I hadn't practiced saying it yet. And she's like, "Love that. Would take this out. I'd change this. This joke didn't really come across." So I think that also helped with
yeah.
having more confidence, and she gave me a lot of good ideas without changing my vows, but we just, like, took out some things. Because again, I was like, "I've never done this before, I don't know what they're supposed to be like." So, it was kind of nice hearing from her as, like, an outside perspective. So, I think that if you are going into your wedding, that's what I'd recommend is, like, practicing it with at least someone that can give you some feedback
Yeah.
on your vows and speeches. Um,
I also will say that there was, like, I think we talked to, like, 5 to 10 people we were like, "We should have invited them." So if you're on the fence with someone, I would invite them.
yeah.
That was one thing. There were definitely a few people I was like, "Yeah, we should have invited them."
Honestly, I think that was the most stressful part of the wedding. Like, yeah,
Deciding
planning was a
deciding
lot,
how to, like,
but
pick.
picking
Yeah.
who was gonna come and not come was very hard. And I think as people pleasers, again, and just we have some really good people in our lives, it
Right.
was very hard to know who to invite and who to leave out. Again, I know we're not alone in
Yeah.
that either, but and also knowing that, I just kept thinking, I'm like, in the next I mean, I think of how much my friend circle has changed in the last 5 years,
Right.
let alone 10 years. I know that it's gonna change again drastically in the next 5 to 10 years. I had a good amount of high school friends there, so shout out to my Chisago friends. Um, it was very cool to see people that I like, for me, it was very memorable. One, as Jacob, we were talking about this after the wedding. He's like, "I bet it was pretty cool, like, walking out of your childhood home down the aisle because we started, like, inside and then walked around in the yard to go up the aisle. That was really special, and then having all those high school friends there. I mean, growing up, we would have lake parties, we'd have volleyball parties, badminton parties, we'd had so many bonfires all at my parents' house, and it was very fun to be just full circle and see everyone with husbands, wives, partners. 3 of 3 of those high school friends that were there are pregnant right now. Some of them with their one of them with their 4th kid, and just to see how we've all grown up was very special and cool, and to be like,
Mhm.
"Wow, this is, like, the land that we used to, like, play on." And we all went down to the lake at one point too and got some pictures down there, and 'cause that's where we did a lot of, like, the volleyball parties. I mean, spend so much time on the lakes growing up because most of my friends lived on the lake up there because Chisago and Lindstrom are just full of lakes. So, that was a very special thing to be like, "Wow, this is, like, the land I grew up on."
Yeah, I thought your parents did an amazing job with it too, getting it ready, and
Yeah, the yard looked phenomenal.
it looked
My
phenomenal.
parents were very into getting all the gardens ready, all the
The
landscaping.
turtles.
The tur there was a turtle that laid eggs, outside the tent. Um, the lake looked great. They helped with, like, clearing a view so we could see the lake from the ceremony area, and so we had everybody take their chairs from the ceremony and bring them over to the tent, and we actually got feedback that people liked that too, because I was worried about having people, like, need to do that, but my mom and stuff told me that she got feedback that people actually liked to be part of the wedding and do something. Um, so I would do that again. And our friend Becky helped with all the flowers, and she did a great job. My bouquet was beautiful. We had flowers like on the arches. My neighbors had what's it called? Something with an S flower, spirea. So we got a bunch of free flowers from the neighbors that were these beautiful like white flower vine things.
Mhm.
The neighbors also really came in clutch. They let us borrow their refrigerators. We could keep the cakes in there. We had cookies, and we were able to put the leftovers in there after. We had a friend that we did a trade with that was our planner. That was another thing that people had said that had either that had done it, had planned a wedding on their own and not done it at a venue. The people who had a planner were like, "I would definitely do that again," and people who didn't have a planner were like, "I would definitely would have a planner." So that
Definitely get a
was
planner.
something that we did. Teresa was
She was
incredible.
bomb as hell.
I don't know how we would have done it without her.
She was working hard too.
It was really funny during the speeches. It was kind of the driveway was in the back, and Teresa was just, like, bombing up and down the driveway in the golf cart, like, just working so hard as the speeches were going on, so all of a sudden we'd see her, like, dart by and then dart by again. Highly recommend doing that. She was a game changer, and we met with her, like, twice before the wedding too, and just, like, went over things. It was very helpful to walk through things with somebody to get, again, an outside perspective of the things that we hadn't thought about, and even to create, like, a we hadn't created a day of photo list,
Mhm.
and so then we were able to just, like, cross names off and fly through that. Um,
Staying together during the wedding.
yeah, we had been told, "Stay together during the wedding, so it'll be
Good
very
call.
easy to drift apart because 'cause you're, like, talking to people." Uh We had different areas for people to be in, 'cause, like, your parents brought out their deck furniture, so we had a bonfire that night, which we didn't even end up sitting at because we were
Just dancing
dancing,
the whole time.
but there were a lot of people that were able to then sit and kinda be out of the dance party area. We had the ceremony area, the lake, but at the same time, it still felt very cohesive and like people were still together. Didn't feel like people were just, like, sprawled out or spread out everywhere. So I enjoyed that, and yeah, I can't thank our friends and family enough for all the help. And again, it was just very cool having everybody be there to help with setup, to help with takedown, to help with bringing furniture and garbages for us to use, and to help with we had numerous friends pick up cakes from different places, which was so nice.
Kombucha, booze,
Yeah,
ice.
kombucha, booze, ice, all of that was other people helping us and spreading kind of the load out because we never could have done that alone.
Mhm. Would do again. Would definitely do it again.
You get married to me again?
Yeah, for sure. We also didn't even get back to the dance until, like, definitely after 9.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, sunsets at
Yeah, I guess probably like 8:39.
yeah.
'Cause the sun hadn't fully
And then I
set.
went inside for a little bit too.
Yeah, I think I went and immediately danced. I had a little heart to heart with your dad and Betty for a little bit.
That's great.
Um, yeah, we had some family, reconnections, which was very pure and made my heart very happy. And yeah, I mean, unless people are lying to us, we got a lot of really good feedback on it.
Yeah.
People said they really enjoyed it.
I will say I have 2 other things that I would recommend doing. The first one, Evan recommended to us. I understand everyone's families are different, so you might not be able to do this. Recommended to us to take all of the presents home and make it a little date like kind of vibe to sit on the ground specifically and open everything and read everything together, just the two of us. Recommend doing that. That was really fun. And then I also, if you can, we were on the fence about doing a honeymoon right afterwards or waiting, and everyone's different again. I recommend doing it right afterwards. That was a good call for us at least, but everyone's different and it can work either way for probably both of those. But those are two other things that I'm happy we did it that way.
Mhm. And I'm happy that we did more of a chill vacation too, wherever that would have been, but not like a super planned out thing, especially if you're gonna be doing it the week after, because I was pretty toast after. But it is funny, I think it was 2 nights after the wedding, I got my best sleep score that I've had in months and months and months. It's like, wow, clearly there was a lot of stress going into this. But personally, I'm glad that we didn't do all of the crazy details. I mean, we could have spent so much more time and money on this wedding, and
Yeah, I'm pretty psyched how much we spent
yeah, I'm very proud of
not
that.
being in the hole
Yeah,
afterwards is sick.
because I think there's so many people that start off their lives together in a bunch of debt. And again, everyone can do what they want, but I'm glad that for us that we didn't do that. And that now we just get to keep building. Like we already had that foundation, and now we just get to keep building off of that. So I'm glad that we did not use our entire life savings on the wedding because it looked beautiful. People got fed, we danced, we had fun, we shared our love, we got to see all of our friends and family members. And personally, I think those are the things at the end of the day that make it.
Hmm.
All of the other stuff is just extra things. And the other tip we had gotten is, find like 2 or 3 things that are very important to you. So if having like super sick flowers is your thing or like really good dessert, like I think all of that's fine, but just know that you don't need to go above and beyond on every single thing for the wedding because 1, that's a lot of money, and 2, that'd be so stressful with planning and like talking to all the vendors and stuff. So personally, like I said with the last podcast, I will not become a wedding planner anytime soon. So I'm happy with the amount of time and energy that we spent on everything for us personally.
Yeah.
I think that's at the end of the day, like do for the wedding what you want, like what will make you happy and not thinking of, I mean, yes, there are other people coming to your wedding, obviously, but what do you like and what is important to you? Because that's what you're going to look back on and not be disappointed with.
You say 305 or 315? Do you want to talk about the honeymoon really quick in 60 seconds?
Hmm.
All right. Honeymoon was sick. I got sick and I'm happy I'm home. There's my recap. Kaylee, take it away.
I had a lot of fun. I ate chips and guac every day. Jacob was out of commission for a few
The first two
days.
and a half days were sick. I had a great
They're
time the
very
first two and a
great.
half days. The back half, I made the list of everyone who goes of like 50% of the people that go to Mexico and got some kind of bug of some sort. And Saturday, I barely left bed. And then Sunday during Kaylee's birthday, I was able to go around places with her, but I was not my normal self. And Monday, even, it wasn't until today was the first day I didn't have stomach cramps going on. So, and like pain. So that's cool. But I've also not had like normal poo for like 6 days. So,
Yeah.
and if that's TMI, sorry, but most of
Sorry.
our podcast listeners are runners, so they know.
And I'm in healthcare, so we talk about poop a lot. Yeah, it was very unfortunate. Thankfully, I did not get hit, and knock on wood, hopefully I won't get hit because grandma's is now 10 days away. I was able to run out there. We
We
got
both ran. I still ran like
insane,
a
just
lot.
not the day you're really
Yeah, I
sick,
only
but
missed one day,
otherwise,
so
we got some great heat training in. It was so hot out there. I know everyone's been complaining about Minnesota, and yes, it's very hot and humid here too. But out there, you were literally running and walking through a sauna
it was like
throughout the
scary hot.
entire night.
Yeah, it
I
was
mean,
like
even
scary
at
hot.
8, 9 PM, to be realistic, we were walking home from dinner probably closer to 8 every night or earlier. We were dripping sweat.
Yeah, like running in that heat is the type of heat where like when here, like if you stop at any point, you kind of cool down. For the most part, there isn't really. Oh my God. In Cancun, when you stop, it gets worse. And like, so if you're not near at least shade, it's like, it's very dangerous. Very dangerous. Like, it was like, it felt like I was in a sauna but couldn't leave. And I was like, we're going to stay close to the resort
You're
because
just
of
like
that.
hot boxed in.
It was not,
An hour, I did like 52 minutes the first a few times of running outside. An hour would have been my
it
max,
was
I think,
tough.
to
Yeah.
not pass out from heat, but it was
Yeah.
still beautiful.
I also liked that we ran.
Nicest gym
Gym
resort
was
or
incredible. And
resort gym I've ever been
the
in.
spa was fucking sick. That was
Yeah.
so fun.
We did a hydro circuit twice. We got a massage, a couples massage. It's
Mhm.
very cute. That felt great. Yeah, the hydro circuit was amazing. Yeah, would
Mhm.
recommend. And shout out to Cancun for being a 4-hour direct flight on Delta
Also sick.
with the same time zone as Minnesota. So we didn't lose any time going there or gain any time. We literally just we left at 9 a.m. on Wednesday and we got there at 1 p.m. We were in our room by 3 p.m., out by the pool by like 3:30.
Oh, we also brought Catan.
How
Genius
could we
move.
forget?
Genius move. That was a great call.
Back to the speeches. There were many common themes for our speeches at the wedding. I think every single person for our speeches talked about how competitive you are. And
Yeah, me. Yeah, that's what it was. I think every speech brought up Catan. I'm pretty sure.
or at least the
Kyle's maybe
competitiveness
didn't bring up Catan, but he definitely
about
talks about
our,
competitiveness, I think.
yeah, in games. That's a lovely skill that I have now passed on to Jacob. You're
And
welcome.
Nick's when he was like, and they play Catan frequently, one-on-one. And if that isn't true love, I don't know what is, because that game's unbearable. Line was probably the best joke during the speeches.
It was
I don't
very
know what got
funny.
more laughs than that across all the
And then
speeches.
he passed on the mic to Josh right after that. That was the end of his speech. So we decided to bring the entire box to Mexico and we played 9 times. How many times did you win?
I won the last time. Smoked her too. She had like 1 point. She had negative points.
That's not
Yeah, I don't know why I
possible.
keep playing Catan because I lose every time.
But you keep asking to
That's the
play.
sad thing. I lose it literally 80% of the time, if not more. Kaylee beats. She is so
Fun.
good at games, and it
Because I'm
irritates me.
patient. I'm patient and strategic.
That's probably what it is. I'm not patient. I'm like, roll, go, go. Let's keep going.
The
Keep
last
the
game,
game.
he's like, I'm gonna be really aggressive this time. I'm like, you're aggressive every
That's why
time. That is your
when we go to Zach
strategy.
and Taylor's, it's great. Zach and I think it's a male thing partly. Although my uncle, when we played chess, he was very patient. We
Yeah,
kicked
and
my
so
ass
is my
every time.
dad.
Yeah. So maybe it's just the Zach and I thing when we go over there, the Zach and Taylor and play, because him and I in code names, if you haven't played this game, highly recommend. We will guess 5 to 7 cards. And
Blue for 7.
yeah, Taylor and Kaylee will do maybe 3, maybe, but for sure like 1 to 2, and they win because we just get it wrong every time. And we're like, one of these times, we're going to get all 7 in one go and win right away.
So the competitiveness in games was one of the main themes. And then the other main theme was people talked about the podcast,
A lot.
which is very
So
cool. So if this is your first time listening because you're
leave
at
a
our
rating
wedding.
and subscribe.
Everyone by the
Rating,
end of
subscribe.
our wedding definitely knew that we were podcast hosts. So if you're new here,
ABM, always be
welcome.
marketing, even at your own wedding. If you're new here, welcome. Leave a rating and review. And Kaylee's got to get to her massage, and I feel like we
Yeah.
kind of. Anything else you want to say about this stuff?
No, it's just been a great couple weeks.
Best 2 weeks of my life,
and
hands down.
I've been looking forward to recording this, especially since it was brought up so much during the wedding. It's a very fun thing that we get to do together. And I just feel very lucky that we get to do this.
Love you, wifey.
Love you. Thank you
I'm
for
hyped.
listening.
Hyped for the next chapter.
Yeah, next chapter of us. Next chapter, we get to do this. We are nearing 100 freaking episodes.
You probably won't
weekly.
hear us again until episode 100, actually. Probably.
Yeah, we have a bunch
have
of more phenomenal guests coming
we've
up
got
that we're
some
excited for you
cool,
to hear.
like run coaching calls, pre-grandmas coming out for clients. Luana with me and Luana, and then me and Matt and I.
Yeah, so good luck to everyone with tapering for grandmas. We believe in you. no matter what happens with the weather, your body, anything, like, it's all of the stuff that came before the race that actually matters. It was the journey to get there, so just keep that in mind, like, getting to the start line and even registering for the race, like, that in itself is a huge accomplishment, so we all need to remind ourselves that, and have fun with it. Again, it's supposed to be fun. It's gonna be hard, and we're gonna wanna quit. I know I'm gonna wanna be done probably after I know at mile 18, my body's gonna be like, "Why are you doing this?" But remember that it's so temporary, and the thing that I always tell myself in ultras is, "Are you gonna be alive tomorrow? Are you gonna be here tomorrow, and what story do you wanna tell yourself the next day?" So make sure to keep that in mind when it gets hard because it will get hard.
Damn. Damn. If you want to hear more of that, make sure to be at Oak Endurance meetup. Oak Endurance / We Get to Do This meetup next Friday afternoon. Yeah. Right? Next Friday
Yeah,
afternoon. Make sure to be
after
there
the 5K.
after the 5K.
Yeah.
And just don't quit. And Lisa, who was a guest on our podcast like 5 episodes back or something like that, mentioned this in her episode. She's doing a 5K in August. The details will also be below for her organization. I recommend listening to the episode. I'll link that. And I also recommend doing that 5K. There is a We Get to Do This group. So join that. Those are our announcements for this week. Thank you all, and peace out from the Oaks.
Wow. Signing off from the Oaks. Okay, love you all. Bye.
Wow, Kaylee, we made it through another episode. What do you think?
We would love if you would go give us a follow, a 5-star review, and comment on the episode and what you liked and what you'd like to see more of.
See you next time.
We get to do this.